Rev up your engines! Now you might be wondering why you don't see any new cars very often in my videos these days. There's none in my driveway, and there's none inside my garage either, so what's up? Because the average new car is over $45,000, and that's just the list price. Many go for higher than that. People just aren't buying the things. And since I'm an honest guy, I don't do paid advertisements for car companies where they bring me their new cars. No, I depend on actual people buying cars and bringing them to me. Fact is, with the price of cars as high as they are, a lot of people are not buying cars. I have seen some people, when they went to get a new car, say the list was 55. They said, well, we're adding on this money here because it's an add-on, and they'll add $20,000, $30,000 to the price of the car. Why should anybody in their right mind pay that kind of money? Most people are like me. They don't like wasting their money on something that shouldn't be as expensive as they're asking for. And of course, the corollary of that is used cars cost so much money now because when new prices go up, the used follow. There's still deals out there. Don't think that there aren't. They try to pretend there aren't, but there always are. Because if people really need money, one of the few things they can sell for money is their car. One, you don't live in your car. Well, most people don't. It's not like a house. Well, you got to live somewhere. You got a house, you sell it. You're out on the street. You're homeless. You don't have a house anymore, right? But one of the few things people can get big money for these days are used cars. Used TVs go for peanuts. Most everything used goes for peanuts. Eventually, the price of used cars will come down. The reason I'm not seeing these new cars to film is because there aren't that many people buying them these days. If you got a new car or you want to show off, hey, contact me, Scotty Kilmer at gmail.com. I analyze them honestly. Let's say you got a new car. Maybe you want to learn a little bit about it. Got these really fancy machines. I can hook up and tell you all about them. All you got to do is bring me your new car. Teach you a little bit about your car. Hey, I love sharing information with people, but unfortunately, hardly anybody's buying these new cars. So I can't get my hands on any to give you an honest analysis of them. And let's face the facts. There's a small amount of people out there like me that are going to give you an honest analysis of something. Most guys, corporations have them in their back pocket. They pay them money to say great things about vehicles. You can't believe a word these people say. You need to find somebody like me that knows about cars to talk about the pluses and minuses of what's out there, what you get for a certain amount of money, what kind of gas mileage you actually get, not the rated gas mileage that can be total baloney. With the average new car being over 45 grand, that's a lot of money to spend. You need facts. You need to know, has it been good in the past? Have they changed something radically that you might not want to buy? Because, as I've warned people my entire life as a mechanic, new technology is not something you want to buy yourself. Let somebody else be the guinea pig. If it pans out, great. Like the guy who just made a video on Hummers. Bought $116,000 electric Hummers. Stranded them on the road. It was locked in park. They didn't have any kind of fail-safe thing that you could push to shut it, so at least you could put it in neutral so he could tow it someplace. It's just absurdity, some of the stuff that these people put out there. But they tell you, oh, it's great. It's a new Hummer. It gets all kinds of power. No. You want real people with real cars. The reason I'm not filming the new ones is because most of the people that watch me, they're into saving money. They're not going to go out and buy a brand new car. Very few of them are. They're keeping their old ones. A lot of them actually bring me a car and say, should I get rid of this car and get another car? I'll say, that thing's still got a lot of life in it. Don't throw your money away. You got to get a new car, hold and wait. Because when the coming recession comes, the prices have to drop. When the interest rates go up, the monthly payments go up. They keep raising the price of cars. People can't afford it. They make a bunch of cars and nobody buys them. They got to lower the price. That's just the way a capitalist system works. I mean, I've seen car dealers around the nation that they say, oh, yeah, we don't have any cars here, just a few. We're marking them up. You better take it or the guy behind you is going to buy it, right? When in actuality, they have quite a few cars sitting somewhere else in storage, which then they deliver to the people later. It's not as bad as people make it seem. The car dealerships will use any excuse they can to charge you as much money as possible. They're not going to deliberately lower prices. Why do you think back in the past they'd cut prices at the end of the year? They had to get rid of their old models, right? When they get too many of them, the price comes down. And believe me, when the recession comes, people are going to get cars turned in. They go, I can't afford it anymore. Here, take it back. Now, I'm not saying all dealers are just raking people over the coals. When I was in Tennessee, a guy brought me a brand new Toyota Camry, bought it at a Toyota dealer, and he paid manufacturer's suggested list price. They didn't jack it up on him. Now, he went to 4 different Toyota dealers. 3 of them jacked it up like mad, but he ended up at one, and they charged him the manufacturer suggested list price, which, as he said to me, he said, Scotty, I'd never paid that before, but that's as low as they're going to go, so that's what I paid. So if you are going to buy a new car, play the games back at him. Say, I don't know if I need a car. I'm just kind of looking around. You'll find out they have more inventory than what they're showing on the floor. I've seen dealerships, they look like a fire sale just went on. There's a few cars in the parking lot. Hey, they got more than those sitting somewhere stored. Let me tell you, I've seen it. Don't fall for this, oh, we don't have any cars to sell. That's just another game they're playing. Try to sucker you into paying too much money for a vehicle. And realize this, the average car on the road today in the United States is 13.1 years old. It's the first time ever Americans have kept cars that long. Why is it so? Part of it is because they're charging too much money for the new ones, and people are saying, I don't want to spend $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on a car. My old car's still running okay. And I agree entirely with that sentiment. Why throw all that money out on a vehicle when you don't need to? That's why I make these videos, showing people how to maintain their own cars, stuff they can do themselves, how not to get ripped off on car repairs. Because I do have to say, probably 50% of the car repairs that people come to me and told me have been done were not even necessary, and they were extremely overcharged for what they paid in the first place. You should learn a little bit more about your car. Even if you're not going to fix it yourself, get a decent scan tool. You can get a decent one for $100 or so. Learn a little bit about it. So when you go and it's not, oh, my light's on, I don't know what's wrong. No, you say, I got this code here, do a little research on Google, could be this, could be that, can you figure it out? They'll know they're not dealing with a complete newbie who knows nothing about cars, and they'll totally take advantage of. Hey, like I say, contact me. ScottyKilmer@gmail.com. The only thing you can trust are people who actually own the vehicles and drive them, not some salesman trying to sell you something, or some media guy who's being paid in his back pocket to tell you how great a product is because he wants to make a lot of money just sitting there talking and not having to do any kind of real work or research on it. Now, there's plenty of old cars out there, like I say. Look at the average car. It's over 13 years old, right? It's been out a long time. I love checking them out, fixing them for people. I got nothing against that. Bring me some of those new ones. I can show people what's out there so they make a wise decision to compare it price-wise. Will it last? Is it broken already? Because like it or not, car manufacturers, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Telling people the truth about cars. We can have a much better time making smart choices of cars rather than just some impulse. Ooh, I like the way it looked. Oh, look, it's fast. My problem is I hardly ever do what I'm told. But that's because I'm a mechanic. And what does a mechanic do? He looks at things, tries to figure out what's broken, figure out how to fix them, right? So my wife's always saying, you always see the negative in things. Well, that's what a mechanic does. You see the negatives and you fix them. And then you say they could have made this better. They could have done that. Guys like me that you should listen to when you're going to buy a car. Not some fancy salesman in a three-piece suit or some media guy blabbing away about something he doesn't know anything about, where the words were put in his mouth by the companies that's selling the stuff. It's like football players making advertisements for mega billionaire insurance companies to sell you insurance. They know how to play football. What the heck do they know about insurance, you know? They're just being paid to blah, 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 buy this insurance, best thing since sliced bread. Then when you make a claim, guess what? They're not going to pay your claim because they spend too much money paying a football guy millions to blab about how great their company is. Not some kind of media hype that's trying to get you to buy something that may or may not be worth all the money that they're asking for. Average new car is over 45 grand. That's a lot of money from where I come from. You really want to spend it? A lot of people today are saying no, they aren't. But if you have, yeah, contact me, send me one. I'd love to try out some of the new stuff, show people what's out there, especially if you got a problem. The guy with the electric Hummer that stranded him on the road. I'm a mechanic. I like hearing about the problems. There's a reason you would or would not buy the vehicle, and it'll be an honest analysis, not just the media paid for one like the Chevy ad. Oh, we're making electric cars for everyone. Hey, they just made that electric Hummer and stranded a guy in the middle of nowhere. On a highway, couldn't even move it. They're not putting that in their advertisements, right? Well, I'll show that. So what would you rather do? Be crying like that guy that he spent $116,000 for a clunker? Or be laughing like me because I didn't buy one in the first place? So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.